It's your girl, Hopi TV Movie Bestie, and I watch good shit. And I just watched Love Story, JFK and Carolyn Bessette, this week's episode. And y'all, this broke me. This was a hard episode to watch. Let's get into it. Y'all, and next week is the finale. So, and we know how it ends, so yikes. All right. So it already started off rough. It started with Princess Diana's death. So right away, it felt eerily parallel to both of their lives. So Carolyn, as she's watching it, because they're watching it live on TV. So Carolyn is reflecting on how the paparazzi harasses you and then how it ultimately literally killed Princess Diana. So John, he can't even watch. Like, he's like, I'm about to go for a run. Now it's nighttime. So he gets out, he's running. And then when he gets back, it's right at the part where they are announcing that, Princess Diana did not make it. And so he is like, I can't believe we're watching this while over across the pond, they're telling her kids that she didn't make it. And so Carolyn is like, yeah, sorry. And so she's like, no, this must be like triggering for you. And it must be very similar to what you and Carolyn went through. She said, I can only imagine what her kids are having to deal with. And so, to everybody's surprise, John is like, what me and Carolyn went through, this is nothing like what me and Caroline went through. And he said, we weren't royalty. We were just regular people, regular kids. John, are you serious? Like, y'all were American royalty. Like, I don't know any other family, even today in America, that is as beloved as y'all were and are. So it's like, are you okay? Carolyn is like, oh, okay. So she says, well, I just want to understand, because John is like, so I guess you'll never leave the house now at this point. And he says, I can't watch this. I don't want to watch this. And she's like, okay, I just want to understand. And she's like, it's okay. You can talk to me, whatever you're feeling. And so he's like, okay, yeah, it parallels my life, your life. I get it. And he's like, but I can't just watch this and then check out on life. He's like, I have to keep going on. I can't focus on this. And she's like, okay. And so then he really starts to go in on how he feels. And he's like, if we're being honest, I don't remember my father dying. I don't remember it at all. And he said, what I do remember is my mom, like, falling apart, her locking herself up in her room, her just staying home and crying all day while the nannies raised me and Caroline. And he said, I just wanted her to play with me like I was a kid, and I just wanted my mom, and she was just not around. And so he then says, I didn't watch my dad die. I watched my mom die. Y'all, that one. Whoo, that wrecked me. And then he said, and then I had to watch her die a second time, when she passed recently. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that got me here. He said he feels like he's watching Carolyn slip away as well, because Carolyn literally is not going anywhere. She is in that house all day. John is on the go, but she is staying home. She doesn't go out to restaurants, things like that. Like, she is just in the house. And he said, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose you too. I've already lost so many people. And, he's just like freaking out. And it's, again, y'all. And also, shout out to these actors, because the way they are conveying emotion, brilliant. Give them the Emmy. Like, they are really good. So, Carolyn, she comforts John, and she's like, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm here. And so we skip a year ahead in time, and they have just had a dinner party. They're, cleaning up. It's late at night. We learn at this point that John has now been taking flying lessons. He just recently crashed a buckeye. And so he has some kind of injury to his foot. He has a boot on his foot. And he gets on the phone and he calls his flight instructor and he's like, hey, I'm free, hit me up whenever. And Carolyn's like, what? And so he said, oh, I'm trying to get instrument rated and I still need more flying hours before that happens. And so Carolyn's like, I thought you told Caroline that you were done with flying and, you're not doing that anymore. And he's like, since when you on Caroline's side? And it is clear from her expression that she also does not want him flying, which is just eerily a reminder of what is to come. Carolyn's like, okay. She's cleaning up from the dinner party and John's like, we could go out and still make this Vanity Fair party or something. And she's like, John, you're not supposed to be walking. You're not supposed to put pressure on your leg. And she's like, no. And it's late. Like, I'm tired. And so he's like, it's not even 11. And she's just like, you know what? If you want to go, but I'm not going. And so he's just like, okay, fine. And so she's like, I don't like how tonight you were trying to get me a job and you're always trying to get me a job because, again, Carolyn, she doesn't work. She's just in the house bored. And so John is like, well, I don't know what you want me to do when you're coming to me and telling me how unfulfilled your life is and how you got nothing going for you. And she's like, just listen. Like, that's all I want you to do. Just let me be lost, but just listen to me. And I think this was an important part here because men tend to be problem solvers. They're fixers. And a lot of times we as women, we come to men and we're venting. We do that with women. We do that with our girlfriends. We're like, these people getting on my nerves. And, sometimes we just want someone to be like, you right, girl, you right. And then sometimes we just want people to just hear us, to just listen, just not have an opinion, not do anything. But I think it's important that we tell men that. So when you're coming to your man, like, look, babe, I'm going to tell you this thing, but I don't want you to do anything. Like, you don't have to fix it. I just want you to hear me out and be on my side. And then that takes the pressure off the man, because I think that right away, men always try to like fix the situation. And sometimes we don't want it fixed. And sometimes their fix is not what we want or how we would want it fixed. And then, it's a problem. So just tell your man, like, I just want you to listen, baby. And then when you do want his input, say that. So then he will come through and help you. But anyways, I thought that was a great part because she said, you ain't got to do nothing. I just want you to listen. He's like, okay, because she says it feels like judgment. I know you're trying to help, but it feels like you're disappointed in me and you're trying to fix me. And so he's like, I'm not trying to do that at all. I just thought you could use a job. And she's like, yeah, but like tonight you're trying to get me a job working for a jeweler. And she's like, I don't have any experience with that. You are trying to get me jobs regardless of my interests or my qualifications. And he's like, you worked at Calvin Klein, that's fashion. And she's like, yeah, this guy is a jeweler. He makes jewelry. And he's like, oh, my bad. Well, I'm sorry. You have great taste in jewelry. And she said, yeah, that qualifies me to be able to buy jewelry, not make jewelry. And he's just like, okay, Carolyn, look, I was just trying to give you a way to pivot. And so then he brings up his mom. And he's like, my mom, after she went through this tragedy, she turned her life around. And Carolyn is just like, oh my gosh, because who wants to be compared to their mother-in-law? But also, Carolyn brings up a good point of like, your mom did this once she was a widow. Like, she did not pivot and change her life while she was married to your father. And she's like, it's completely different from the situation I'm currently in. And so then that kind of hurts John. And he's like, you know what, just let's don't talk about my mama no more. And she's like, well, you brought her up. And he's like, yeah. And I'm saying, just drop it. And she's like, okay, whatever. And then he goes, you should be lucky that you never met my mom, because she would not have encouraged this. And Carolyn's like, what? And he's like, yeah, she wouldn't. And then she goes, well, maybe I should have listened to my mama. And he's like, what you talking about? And she's like, yeah, basically the day before our wedding, my mom was like, don't marry him because he'll never prioritize you. He'll always choose something else over you, his career or anything. And yeah, think about this. And so he's just like stunned. And I just felt like this whole time, y'all, I was just clutching my pearls and I was just like, stop, please just stop. Because it was like blow after blow after blow after blow, and low blows. Like Carolyn would hurt John, John would hurt Carolyn. And it was just back and forth, like the most uncomfortable game of tennis or ping pong that I've ever watched. It was so stressful. Like I just wanted them to stop talking because it was just getting out of control. So Carolyn, she then goes to say, like, you know, it's clear that you don't want to be with me. Like, you're never home. I miss you. You're always gone. You're always doing something so that you're not here. And she says, but I guess it must be really hard to see how unhappy you make me. And John agrees. And he's like, yep, it sure is. And he's like, lately, that's all I can do. I just disappoint people. I disappoint everybody that I love and I care about. And that's all I know how to do. And he's like, I don't not want to be around you. I miss who you used to be. And then she's like, John, I'm the same person. The difference is before you were trying to obtain me. I was unattainable. I was the girl who wasn't impressed that you were JFK Jr. I wasn't impressed with your fancy lifestyle. And so it was like a game for you to get me. And she was like, but then you got me. And she said, I opened up. I started being vulnerable with you. And then you realize, oh, she has thoughts and opinions and feelings. And then you didn't like that version of me. And I was just like, Lord, oh my gosh, like so hard to watch. So then John is just like, you know what? I need to leave. Like, I need to leave because this is getting too much. And I thought, yes, but don't leave. Like, just end the conversation. Do not leave. And so then Carolyn is like begging him not to leave because he's going upstairs. He's like packing up his suitcase. And she is literally begging him not to leave. And she's like, John, don't go. And she's like, don't end this, like, stay and fight. And, you know, I don't think that she means physically fight, like they're having this argument, you know, this back and forth. But she means like fight for us. Like, don't give up on us. You're walking out on me because this is too hard to deal with. Stay and deal with it. Like, let's deal with it in a better way, a more productive way, but stay here. And he's just like, no, I gotta go. And she starts crying, y'all. And I'm crying, like the way I was weeping during this episode, just like, John, don't go. Carolyn, don't say another word. Like, y'all. So Carolyn then goes into this monologue about, what about your promise of not us? And she said, you know, when I told you all the fears I had, all the things that had happened to other couples that I was afraid of with us, and you kept saying, not us. It won't be us. It won't be us. And she said, what happened to that? What happened to that? And she's just crying and she's on her knees on the floor. And John, he just has no response. And he continues to pack his suitcase. He kisses her on her forehead. He says he loves her and he leaves. And he says, I promise I'll come back. This is not ending. He is gone. And then Carolyn and me are laying on the floor just weeping. And the episode ends. And y'all, I needed a hug. I needed, woo, because this was rough, y'all. So we know what's going to happen next episode, but I am interested to see how they're going to end it. Like if there'll be any kind of a year later or I don't know, something. So I'm really interested what this last episode will be. But shout out to these actors. They need an Emmy because y'all, this show is taking me through the emotions. Like I am literally like in shambles every week. So shout out to everybody associated with this show and the writers, the creators, everybody. Like y'all need the awards. But what y'all think of this episode? Did y'all make it through this episode? Or am I the only one at home crying on the couch? Like, I feel like John is my man and he leaving me. Like, goodness gracious. But anyways, I will see y'all for the final episode next week. In the meantime, like, subscribe, follow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I'm on all the socials, Your TV Movie Bestie. I will see y'all next time. Bye.